I don't really like romance. And I know this is another video where I'm like, this is something that I hate. I really don't like romance though. The only time I really find myself liking romance is if there's some sort of sad element to it or almost like a tragedy to it. I just hate how cliche romance is, and I hate how repetitive it can be. There's so many love songs, and there's so many stories that feel the need to put a love story into the story, even if it doesn't need romance. And I think people are just so obsessed with the idea that everyone needs to find a person and everyone needs to fall in love with someone in order for their life to be complete. And I'm just not in that mindset, like, at all. Like, if I never get married, I'm chilling, you know? I'm a little bit of a homebody, so I like to have my own space. I like hanging out with people, but I wouldn't want to hang out with someone like 24/7, I don't think. I wouldn't really want to share my space with anyone. If I did get married to someone, I would want my own room, you know? That's just me though. But it does, my feelings about romance do lead into me not liking romance in stories as much. I just think it's cliche. I think it's a lot. I think every year there's just so many stories and books and comics and songs about romance, and it just drives me up the wall because it's too much, there's too much of it. I just think we could chill on it. I guess I don't really understand why people are so obsessed with it at certain points. I do sometimes like ship culture, but sometimes I think it takes away from the actual plot, and I would rather focus on the plot than on the romance. I think some shows destroy themselves for ships, like ship culture, because they will be like, oh, we need to keep this audience into us, so we need to do this whole ship thing. We need to do the romance that they want us to do, and it just kind of throws throws it all away, I just hate the idea that romance has to dictate how a story should go. I really appreciate platonic relationships way more than romantic ones, and I think it's a lot more creative than going for like an actual romance. Whenever there is a boy and a girl who are friends and there's no romance in them at all, I am so happy. It makes me so happy every single time, because the thought is, oh, they are a boy, they are a girl, so they must get together by the end of this. And the fact that they don't even touch on romance sometimes is so nice. It genuinely makes me so happy. You've got Yuji Itadori and Nobara Kugisaki, and they just don't go into romance at all. They don't do it at all, and I'm so happy. I am so happy by that. It's just so nice to just not have to worry about certain romance things happening. I enjoy a show that just won't touch on romance at all. If I could control it, I think I'd make it so that no one would do romance. And I know people love romance so much, but I just don't see the point sometimes. I'm just like, where's the magic? What are we doing? Let's get back on track, guys. The romances that I like the most are the ones where they don't stay together or one of them dies. And I know that sounds like me just being like, I hate romance and they should just die. But it's like, no. There is something in that, okay? There is some sort of crack in that. Trust. It's like a tragedy. Like characters who mourn the times that they had with this character that they were in love with. My favorite romance playlists I have are ones that are like, the premise is two characters in love who have a domestic life together, and then they daydream about it, but then one of the characters dies before they even get to that goal. Ugh! It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. No matter what gender, sexuality these two have, it is destructively heartbreaking to see them try so hard to get to that goal and fail right at the end to things that aren't even their fault, like diseases or accidents or things like that, where they literally could not get to that because of these outer forces that fuck with them. I have multiple couples that I've written like this, or they have a similar vibe to what I was just saying, because I really enjoy it which sounds kind of sadistic, but I do think a romance love that's tainted with like this horrible grief is really interesting and sad to watch, and it makes the love more like impactful for me. It feels more realistic. It's like I just need something else other than romance. It can't just be romance, you know? It's gotta have a little bit of spice to it, and I like that. I like it a lot. So like examples of this that I've seen, there's definitely a couple like this with the Adventure Zone, way later in the balance arc. I've written both comic characters and D&D characters with this dynamic, and I tried really hard to think of other examples of this, but I don't watch a lot of like live action shows, so I don't know a lot of like examples in that regard. I just think a lot about like cartoons and how that tends to be a thing with like parents, how one of the parents will be dead, and you know, now that I think about it, it might be a little more common, but I appreciate a focus on that. They don't really focus on it sometimes, and I would like them to. I spent a few weeks just daydreaming about how sad it was that one of my D&D characters that I play, like, he tried so hard to make this community for his wife and him to have like this domestic life in. You know, he like fought battles for it. He got scars for it. You know, they both fought so hard for this, and then right when they got this new community that's like safe and they had this like domestic life right there a foot away from them, and they went to grab it and it just disappeared in their hands because his wife dies right there. It's just sad. It's sad, and it makes you appreciate the romance they had before, because you think, well, it's not a thing anymore because she's dead. But it makes you appreciate the romance that they could have had, you know? And it makes you think about, well, what could have been, you know? I just appreciate that a lot more than I appreciate the standard romance. I hate those shows that are like, will they, won't they? But then it's like, okay, but you're the straight couple in the show, so it's not a will you, won't you. You're gonna get together. Like, it's not a question. You're gonna get together. Maybe I just hate straight people. Those are my thoughts on romance. I know, different. I just, this is an explanation as to why you'll probably never see me write a romance, and if I write a romance, you should probably be nervous, because something bad's gonna happen to one of them. Trust. That's all I had to say. I just wanted to rant, man, about romance. Bye.